Good morning. Welcome to Quest Partnership Limited. My name is Laura Pollock and I am a recruitment officer here in the personnel department. I'll be with you for the whole of this morning and will be coming to lunch with you later on. Thank you for arriving so promptly this morning. I hope that you all received the letters informing you of what will be happening today. This morning we will be asking you to complete an ability test and a personality questionnaire. I'll tell you a little bit more about the test later. This afternoon there is also interviews with the personnel manager and we'll be starting the testing very shortly, approximately finishing about 1 o'clock to have lunch, and then we'll be away by about 4:30 this afternoon at the latest. Before I ask you to do the ability tests, I'd like to tell you something about why we use them. We use these ability tests as part of the selection procedure to give us a fair and objective assessment of your skills in the evaluation of written information and numerical data. These are important skills for the post of management trainee, and we have found in the past that people who do well in these tests tend to do well in the job. However, there is not a perfect relationship between test score and job performance, so it's certainly not the case that the person who gets the highest score will automatically get the job. Of course, it's in your own interest, as well as those of the company, to be suited to the role. We also find that we can gain information from these tests which cannot accurately be gained from other parts of the selection procedure, such as the interview. It should also be stressed that the tests are only part of the selection procedure, as a decision will be made by combining all relevant information collected. All information collected will be kept confidential and will not be used for any other purposes except this one. If you're interested, you can obtain some feedback on how you did on the ability test later on. I'll give you the contact person, telephone number and the date on which you can phone for feedback during our coffee break. Housekeeping. In case of a fire, please leave the building via the fire exit to the rear of the room and turn left, which will take you out of the building. If the fire bell does sound, it will have a continuous siren. There is no scheduled fire alarm, so if it does go off, please leave promptly, leaving everything else here. This session will last about 1.5 hours. You are asked not to leave the room once the test has started, so please feel free to leave now to visit the toilet, which is situated next door, or to collect reading glasses or anything else. Please note that the whole building is a no smoking premises. I would also like you to switch off your mobile phones for the duration of this session. You can do that now. Anyway. Okay, do we need to collect anything else? No? Good. Okay. Before I hand out the materials, I would like to remind you to work quickly and accurately throughout the test. Listen carefully to the instructions, which I shall read from a card to ensure not only that I remember everything, but that you receive exactly the same instructions as anyone else taking this test. You will have some practice questions to complete to ensure you know what to do before we start the test itself. Are there any questions at this point?
You mentioned that it's not necessarily the highest score that gets the job.
Yes.
But what's best? I mean, do I need to sort of make sure I finish the whole test, or what's better, and maybe get some wrong, or to go a bit more slowly and get them all right?
We recommend that you just work quickly and accurately throughout the test. So just go with that advice.
Okay.
Try and work quickly, but also try and get the right responses. Thanks. Using the pencil provided, please print your name in the line of boxes at the top of the answer sheet, surname first and then your initials. Next, in the appropriate box, please fill in today's date, which is the 13th of January 2016. Please do not open this booklet until I tell you to do so. Please ensure that the reference number at the top right-hand corner of your answer sheet, NMG3, is the same as that printed on the cover of your test booklet. Turn over your answer sheet to side B and open your test booklet to pages 2 and 3. This is a reasoning test with numbers. On pages 2 and 3, you will find the instructions explaining how to do the test and some example questions. Follow these instructions while I read them aloud. Just 2 and 3, please. In this test, you will be using facts and figures presented in various statistical tables to answer questions designed to assess your ability to evaluate numerical data. In each question, you are given either 5 or 10 options to choose from. One and only one of the options is correct in each case. Note that for questions which have 10 options, you may have to fill in more than one circle to indicate your answer. For example, a question for which you thought the right answer was AC, you will need to fill in both circle A and circle C. Do not write anything in this question booklet, but indicate your answers by fully blackening in the appropriate circles on the answer sheet. You may wish to use a calculator for this test. Rough paper is also provided for your working out. Now work through the example questions below in your own time, using the statistical tables on the facing page. Mark your answers in the examples section on side B of your answer sheet. Now work through the example questions below in your own time using the statistical tables on the facing page. Mark your answers in the example section on side B of your answer sheet. Could just take another look at question 2 and 3, please. Just take it. No, that's great. Yeah, well done. The answer to example 1 is C. The answer to example 2 is AC. The answer to example 3 is BC. Are there any questions? If you're not clear about what you have to do, ask me now, as I can't answer questions once the test has started. Please look at page 3 and follow the final, just page 3 please, and follow the final instructions while I read them aloud. Remember, the test consists of 35 questions and you will have 35 minutes in which to do them. You will need to work quickly but accurately. Fill in completely the appropriate circle or circles on the answer sheet. Do not make any marks on the question booklet as it will be used again. Always make sure that the number on the question corresponds with the number on your answer sheet. Fully erase any answer you wish to change. If you are not sure of an answer, mark your best choice but avoid wild guessing. The statistical tables you need to refer to are attached to the back cover of this booklet. Turn to the back of the booklet and unfold this page now. Are there any final questions?
Oh, can I have a 5-minute warning before the end, please?
No, we don't tend to give a 5-minute warning because it could be distracting to the other candidates. However, there is a clock on the wall, so if you could just manage your time yourself, that would be great. Thanks. Any final questions? Okay, turn over to page 5 and begin. If you could use pencil rather than pen, thanks. Stop, pencils down, please close your test booklets. Thank you very much, that's the end of that test. We're going to move on to the personality questionnaire. Does anybody need to leave the room to go to the toilet, or take a drink, anything like that? Okay, I'm now going to introduce you to the Identity Personality Questionnaire. First of all, a little bit about why and how it's used. We use this identity questionnaire to gain a little bit more supporting information and find out a little bit more about yourselves. These preferences and traits might be explored further at your interview. The nature of the information we collect, there is no right or wrong answers. It's looking at your style rather than your ability. And it's all about your preferences and what makes you unique to you. Okay, so to approach this questionnaire, I'd like you to answer it as honestly and as objectively as possible. Focus on your behaviours at work, and remember that it is untimed, but work through quickly and try not to think about the questions for too long. If possible, avoid unsure, which is number 3, and try and make a judgment either side if you can. I'm just going to hand out the question booklets and your answer sheets. So this is your booklets. And your answer sheets. So side A to begin. So, first of all, could you fill in the ID information on the front of the answer sheet? Okay, if you could all just focus your attention on me for a couple of seconds. We're going to turn the answer sheet over to side B. At the back of the booklet, the way to do this is go right to the back of the booklet and then pop the answer sheet into the booklet. Now what you'll see is that it's very cleverly lines up, so page 2 will start here, and then, so when we do page 2, we'll turn over, there's the questions for page 2. Once you get to the end of page 2, if you turn over to page 3, and then just slide your answer sheet out a little bit further, all the questions should line up. Any questions about how to answer it then? Does that all make sense? Yeah? Awesome. Okay. When you're filling in your responses, if you could still use pencil and just circle the response you want to select. If you change your mind, if you just cross through or erase it and just circle your alternative response. But again, try and work quite quickly through the different questions. Okay. Take a couple of seconds. On the first page, there's all the instructions again. So if you just want to read through those in your own time. As I've said, it is untimed. And if you've got any questions, just ask away now. Are you okay? Okay. You need to complete all of the items in the questionnaire, please. Don't leave any blank. And once you've read through the items and the instructions, if you'd like to begin, then you can. It should take approximately 30 to 40 minutes, depending.
Can I leave when I've finished? Or
yeah, if you just let me know, and then we'll...
Okay.